Okay, I have 2 bowls right here full of rings and a little bit of jewelry. This side's the gold. There's some necklaces and some gold rings and some silver rings, lots of gold rings. And I have a bowl of junker rings. And I'm gonna test these coins out here. I'm gonna lay them out separately. A row of gold and silver and a row of junker rings on each side of the sidewalk here. And I'm gonna test it out. I'm going to test the Simplex, the Deus, the Anfibio, and the Equinox. I have over 1,000 hours on each one of these machines. I don't quite have 1,000 hours on the Equinox, but I do have over 2,000 hours with my Anfibio, over 1,000 hours on my Deus, and 2,500 hours on my Simplex. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the numbers, even though I'm not really interested in the numbers thing, but a lot of guys are. That's just their style of digging. You know, they got to look at the numbers because these machines here, the Equinox, you have to look at your numbers, right? I mean, you can set it up to where your tones are reading high on the Equinox on these lower conductive targets, these gold rings here. And the Anfibio, you can also do that, but you don't have nearly as much adjustment on the Anfibio as the Equinox. And with the Deus, I really don't adjust the Deus too much out of the hot program. You know, I have a lot of hours on this machine, and I've been using it for the last year. And I started out using the deep program, and I was making all these custom programs because all the coils are different, right? They respond different to different targets and soils and the moisture in the soil. Every single one of these coils responds differently, and every single one of those programs responds differently to like coins and different soils. So I really messed up starting out with the Deus, but I wanted to experiment. You know, the reason why I got the Deus is because I wanted another detector that's going to detect these rings right here, right? And I know that the higher frequencies does really good on gold, and I'll show you that in these demonstrations here. And I'll show you that if you're in just one program, right, and you just use one coil, you're very limited on getting this stuff right here, right? You're very limited, right? I will show you that with the Equinox, big time. With the Equinox, it'll hit some of these rings really good, these gold rings and this jewelry really good. And in another program, like Park 1 and Park 2, some of these targets, it won't even hit in Park 1, right? The smaller gold rings that won't even hit. But I noticed with the Deus, if I have this just in stock hot program, right, it can hit on a majority of targets, right? And it doesn't go very deep, but most of these rings right here, I found within 4 inches deep, right? And so I want to have a small coil. So these coils here are the coils that I prefer for the jewelry, right? Because it's near the surface, right? You're not going to find rings and necklaces too deep because the grass roots really hold on to that up to the surface, right? It doesn't want to sink. And with the Anfibio, I have the 7-inch coil on here. I've gotten a lot of jewelry with that. I've gotten a few gold rings with the Equinox with that small coil on. And with the Deus, I've gotten a lot more gold with this machine this year than my other machines here, you know. But the Simplex with this small coil here, and I'll show you that in my videos. I'm gonna have one video per machine, and I'm just gonna swing over all these targets. I'm not gonna talk very much during the videos because I have a lot of targets to go over, right? And a majority of these rings were on the surface, and that Simplex right there spanks all these targets out really freaking good right on the surface. And some of these other machines struggle, right? They struggle because you have to be in the right mode and you have to have the right settings and stuff. With the Simplex, it's so freaking simple. It's just so simple, man. And it hits on every single one of these targets really good on the surface. But once these targets get in the ground or they're on their edge, they sound a lot different. And these rings here, these gold rings, these aren't very solid tones, right, on a lot of these machines because they're odd shaped, right? That ring that Jim found yesterday, it's almost $3,000 gold ring right here, right? Almost $3,000 gold ring. He found that in a tot lot, right? Big honking gold ring, you know, a lot of silver rings, gold rings, some silver jewelry. I just found this the other day. There's a 15 gram, 14 karat gold necklace. And I found this silver pendant actually in my next door neighbor's curb strip last year. And I also found another ring, another silver ring in that same curb strip. Let's see if I can find it here. There's so many. This silver, really old silver ring in that same curb strip right in my next door neighbor's yard. And a lot of these gold and silver I have found in curb strips, right? This ring right here, the one that Jim found with his MX7, all of these machines struggle with it, especially the Equinox. The Deus will barely hit this. The Simplex spanks it out big time in every mode, right? It's a bent gold ring, 14 karat gold ring, a white gold ring. Jim found it with his MX7 in a field there. I can't believe he found that little teeny munched up gold ring. But there's a lot of weird shaped gold here. You know, this is gold here. Most of it's 14 karat gold. And this one I found with, this gold I actually found with a prototype that I was testing for White's Electronics. I can't tell you anything about that machine because I still have non-disclosure agreements, I think. I'm not sure. But this one was really a scratchy tone. It sounded like a penny, but it's just a tie clip with some gold leaves on it, some gold pieces on it. One of them broke off. I couldn't find that last piece that was on there, but you know, this ring right here, let's see, where's it at? This thing right here is I think $900 gemstone in that silver ring I found in a curb strip. A lot of this stuff I found in curb strips, right? This 1 ounce, it's over 1 ounce. It's a silver, Mexican silver bracelet. These things don't sound really good on a lot of detectors. You know, those chains, these herringbone chains, right? They just don't sound very good on detectors. You know, there's a 10 gram or 11 gram 10 karat necklace, and this one right here is a bracelet that Jim found in a park, and it sounded like foil. A lot of these read up as foil, right? And I know there's a lot of foil out there, man. You have to dig a lot of freaking foil, and it's just luck. This is a broken ring, a broken gold ring. This is the first gold ring that I found with my Equinox 6-inch coil. And Jim and I just went back there to that same school and tried to hunt it, but they tore up the ground there. They put a bunch of sewer drains in there. But I found this one about 3 years ago. It's a 14 karat gold bracelet. And a lot of these machines struggle on this bracelet right here. Just for some reason, detectors, it struggles finding bracelets. But there is a small little piece here to this necklace that I found the other day. You know, this necklace here was just shot by the mower. I found this piece and several other pieces about 100 feet apart in the park there, just all munched up, right? And I actually found the clasp to this. I found the clasp to this necklace right next to these other small pieces with the Equinox large coil. So the Equinox large coil can get that little small stuff, and I can show you if I can find that little piece here. It's so minute, and the Equinox smacked it out with that little coil. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it right now. It's just such a small little piece, man. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it right now, but there's a lot of gold in here. I can find it right there. I see it right down there. I don't know if you can see it, but this is that little clasp. And most of these are live digs, right? All these junker rings and all this gold, most of these are live digs. If you watch my videos, I found a lot of some gold rings this year with the Deus, but the higher frequencies really can detect this small stuff too. But and the small jewelry, the small little jewelry, you know. If you want to dig up gold and you've been struggling trying to find your first gold ring, and you're just getting in metal detecting, or even if you've been metal detecting for a lot of years and you've never found a big gold ring, or you've never found a necklace or a bracelet or a small little pendant, join the crowd, man. They don't come very often for me, right? I dig every day for a lot of hours, every single day. You know, I hunt for over 2,000 hours a year. You know, I'm out in relic dumps, out in curb strips, out in parks, schools, farm fields. This year I wasn't able to go to the farm fields because it was so dry. But I'm going to show you how many iffy targets you have to dig up to get gold rings. You know, these junker rings here, you know, these junker rings are pretty easy to find because they sound like a penny, right? Some of these gold rings right here sound just like a penny too. And there's just no rhyme or reason to it, what these targets sound like, right? If you're just going out there to get some coins and, you know, just hunt for coins, you know, you can set your metal detectors up, you can discriminate or notch out some stuff, but I suggest not doing that. If you want to get gold, don't discriminate and do not notch. If you notch targets out, your metal detector's going to act all funky on jewelry, right? If you want to notch out the pull tabs, and to get all these gold rings right here, I had to dig up probably tens and tens and tens of thousands of pull tabs, right? You see me in my videos, I dig up a lot of pull tabs, but you know what? That next pull tab could be a freaking honking gold ring, right? And just about every one of these gold rings here, I thought I was just gonna dig up another piece of foil or another piece of can slaw or another pull tab, right? And bam, they pop right out of the ground, right? That's why I dig up a lot of junk, man, because I want to get that jewelry, right? There's $10,000 worth of gold sitting right there, right? And this is not all of it. I just wanted to, I wanted to have enough room out here on my sidewalk here to fit all these gold rings here. And I actually have a $5 gold piece in here too. I didn't find this gold piece. I actually bought it from somebody, but I'll test it out too. On all these machines, I'll test it out, right? $10 or $5 gold piece, 1910, $5 gold piece. But, you know, the junker rings sound like pennies, and they sound kind of scratchy because they're odd shaped. The same with the gold rings, right? And the bracelets, and the necklaces, and the small, really thin gold rings. You know, you have to dig up a lot of foil to get these small gold rings, you know. And I might even bring some foil out here and just put it in the center here, and some can slaw, maybe a pull tab, and just show you the difference, what all these machines, you know, and different modes is going to affect these machines differently, and different frequencies. You know, the Simplex, you don't have very many frequencies on the Simplex, but with the Simplex, I've done probably hundreds of hours of testing on these rings right here, right? When it's dark out and I can't detect, I am freaking testing, or I'm doing video stuff, right? And I'm just training my ear. I just sweep these rings, I sweep jewelry. I have buckets and buckets of jewelry that I've found in the last few years. This is just only a few rings that I've found in the last few years. This is just the rings that I found in the last maybe 5 years, right? 6 years. But I have a lot of rings from the last 25, 26 years that I've been detecting. But I just don't have enough room out on this platform here to show you guys. And the jewelry, I'm sick. I'm gonna have probably a couple 5-gallon buckets full of junk jewelry that I've saved. I don't know why I save it, but the Simplex really hits hard on these targets here. And the Simplex is so freaking simple, man. You don't have to make any adjustments. It's just a no-brainer with the Simplex, right? And I'll show you that in the videos here, right? These machines will struggle on some of these gold targets here, and the Simplex will not, right? But the Simplex struggles in the curb strips, you know, the high EMI areas, and it struggles in the hot soil, and it can struggle in a lot of iron. But most of these gold rings I didn't find in a lot of iron. I found them shallow, right? Within, like I said, within 3 inches deep, you know. This this gold bracelet just the other day was on the surface. That's probably Jim calling me. I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.